Hey you guys, so today I have decided to do a quick little tutorial on how I do my makeup. Often I get asked or I'm told your makeup looks so good, and a lot of people wish they could learn how to do makeup. So I'm just going to show you the basics because I just like to do the basic way. So this of course is my natural look. I'm going to show you some of the products that I use to do my makeup and to start off. And hopefully you learn something and you can do your makeup. So everything that I use is super simple. You can purchase it at a local beauty supply store or something like Ulta or Sephora. Most of the products that I purchase are from Ulta. I love me some Ulta. But yeah, so I'm going to get started and just kind of let you guys know what I do and use. This is what I use to moisturize my face. I love it. It's really light. So if you have dry skin, then you don't need a lot. Maybe just a little dab just to kind of get your face moisturized because you're going to put on other products along with it. So I'll start off by moisturizing my face and making sure that it's, moisturized and everything. And that's just before I put any product on my face. I want to make sure that my face is shiny and it's moisturized and it's not dry. And then it helps the makeup lay better. So yeah, so I'll start off with the cream. And then once I do the cream on my face, now you can use any type of lotion, any type of good moisturizer that you have if you have dry skin. But one of the next things that I use is Morph. I like to use this to set my face, so I'll take it out and then I'll just spray a little bit to set my face. So once I finish with using my Morph, then I move on to my primer, which is by e.l.f. And I love the primer. I only use kind of 3 little squirts of it because you don't need a whole lot just to set your face. And then you just kind of put it on your face just to make sure that you have moisturizer on your face. So you put it on your face and then you kind of get going. So once the face is moisturized, I kind of make sure it's dry, let it sit for a little bit. So it's sitting. And while it's doing that, then I make sure that I have all of my products together that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to show you guys a lot of that. And then I like to brush my brow. So I just use a little simple brow brush. You can purchase them from anywhere. I think this is an e.l.f. brand. So yeah, it's e.l.f. But you can just brush your brow, brush it really nice. Make sure that you get all those little hairs and just brush it. So you're going to brush those brows and make them really pretty. And then once I brush my brows, my face is ready, it's dry. So now it is ready to start. So once again, this is just a basic tutorial, but I use this e.l.f. Concealer. So I start under my eye. This particular is called Tan Sand Sable Bronze. So I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but that's the name of this one. I would just recommend if you want to kind of so for me, I tone down on a lighter scale when it comes to the concealer under my eyes. But you'll see why, so I'll just go ahead and go with that. And you can do this however you want, you guys. I have watched so many YouTube videos and so many TikToks until I got it right and I'm comfortable enough for it to look like I want it to look. So you do it the way you want with your concealer. I just take a little bit to kind of put around here with the lighter version of it. And then I'll go into kind of my darker version of the concealer to put in other areas as well. So you'll see that. And then the next one that I like to use is Deep Chestnut, and it's by e.l.f. as well, so it's Deep Chestnut. And so what I do with that is I take it, and I just kind of put it with a mix, kind of mix it in, so that it blends with the light and the light concealer on there. And then I just kind of push them together, kind of blend them in to kind of balance them out, and kind of give me that. And just know that when you are buying product for your face, you do want to buy a good product, but you don't have to spend a lot of money on product. Especially getting started, you just want to buy something that you are comfortable with and that doesn't dry your skin out. A lot of the ladies at the beauty supply store, they're usually pretty helpful with trying to tell you what you need or what's a good, inexpensive brand. So you just have to figure out what works for you. So next we move along to our, this is, I forget the name of the brand. It's kind of gone away, but I know it's like a banana or something, but that is what I use to kind of set my face, like a baking powder. You can purchase it at any beauty supply store, and this is through Revolution. So it's by Revolution, you guys, and this is the top to it. So it's by Revolution, but that's what I use to kind of set my face after this. So I'm gonna just pour a little bit on my sponge. Yes, so I'll pour a little bit, just a little dab, and once I do that, which I did forget one step, and that was to put a little bit at the bottom of my chin. I like to have just a little highlight down here. So, yeah, I forgot to do it. Put a little highlight there. But anyway, I'll put a little baking here and just kind of pat it. And you just put as much as you want to kind of get the look that you're going for. But for me, I'll use a couple of little dabs in it. And then I'll go up and just kind of dab those areas to blend it in. And just dab it until you feel like it's got enough powder to your liking of your face. Then the next part that I go to are my brows. Now, you can use, I like Morph with the brows. It's a good brow pen. It still comes with the brush, you guys. But I like the Morph brand. I usually get the chocolate. So if you want to know the color, it's called Chocolate Rousse. I don't know if y'all can see that, but there you go. So you can kind of see what it is. But Morph is the brand. It's the chocolate that I purchased from Ulta. But I am currently out, so I am going to improvise, and I just use a brow pencil to kind of draw my brows. So this part is very tedious. So with this, you simply want to make sure that you, I don't know if y'all can see me here, but you get underneath the eye really good, and that you are marking your brow. So where when you pull it, you kind of blend it. You can blend it in. It's not too much, but just a kind of light pull. And then you'll do the other side the same way, and you just want to make sure that it's not real dark, and then it kind of balances with your real brow, and you pull it on across. So I just do a little bit. I don't like a lot because once I go through the next steps, you'll see how I get it to kind of darken up in the products that I use for that. So that's the next part that I really do like. I also use this product by Lamique for my brow duo to kind of darken my brows as well. So you can purchase this from Lamique, or you can go to any beauty supply store and just get a brow duo to kind of fill in your brows as well. So I am going to do that. And what I use is just another Morph brush, just a brow brush to kind of scrape inside here. You see? I'll just kind of dab a little bit of that. And then just go over my brows with it to my liking. And this can take a little bit of time because you want to make sure that it's dark enough. And you want to make sure that it flows with the hairs and everything, and that it's filling in and all of that. So that's what I'm doing now. So once I get to that, I think it's kind of dark enough for now. Then I move on to the next brow. And it's kind of the same steps, you guys. Same steps. Just make sure that they're filled in really good. Filled in really, really good. The brows are like my favorite part of the makeup process because it's kind of like they have to be like on point, you guys. So the brows are my favorite. And I literally have to take my time with the brows, okay? So, yeah. Take your time with the brows. And then once you feel like, they're dark enough, right now, to me, they're dark enough. Then you go on to the next step. And for me, my next step is just adding more concealer under the brow. And that's just going to help you start the process of getting your face together. So I'm going to use the same e.l.f. Brand to kind of go under the eyes and just make sure that they are even. So you just kind of take your time and go underneath your eyebrow, your eyelid, your eyes. And then you just kind of make sure that everything is balanced out. As natural as you can get it. And then once you do that, you just do the other side. Kind of put it on your face and just go. You don't want too much to make it real thick and heavy, but just enough to cover it and to make sure that it's balanced. So, yeah. And then once you do that, then you are going to move along to the next thing. And so the next thing that I like to do is go ahead and put my foundation on. Now, once again, you can do it the way you want. I use Maybelline and 30H 355 is my color. This is what I use. And then I sometimes switch to NARS as well. So I like NARS. I can kind of go between the two. And with NARS, my number is Carcass. So this is what I use for the foundation piece. So today I'm going to use the Maybelline. And I'm just going to, you don't need a lot of this, you guys. So probably like 2 little pumps, not a whole lot. And then just dab it. And then once you've done that, then I like to use my little blending brushes. It's a blending brush. And you can get these anywhere, any type of hair supply store. And then you just want to put like a little water, a little moisturizer on it, a little water. And then you're going to just dab your face. You're going to dab to your liking. And for me, I just dab until I feel like it's blended in. So you just blend, dab and blend. To your liking. And so you're just going to continue to dab the same process all the way through. And just make sure you cover those areas until it's filled in to your liking. But you want to make sure you get, all around the border of your face and just make sure everything is covered really good. And this is the part that as far as with the brows that you want to make sure that you I try to outline, kind of get a little start of like outline. And you're going to go in again and redo this process with your brows, but this is just a start to kind of get you going to where after you put your powder foundation on, then you can go in and work on your brows. So this is this part, and once I've done that, I feel like to me it's kind of mixed in pretty well. So next, after this particular part, then I go ahead and do my foundation. So I don't know the the brushes, you guys. I'm not that professional, but this is an e.l.f. brush. And I just use a Morph Sunset. It's the powder that I use. It's by Morph as well. But I just take it and I just simply just dab until I feel like it's enough, and I just cover my face with it. And this helps the liquid foundation kind of stay in place along with all of the primer and stuff you've added. But this just kind of sets the face after you've put the liquid foundation on. And you just kind of go around the face with it and get it the way you like. And then you just want to go a little bit under the brow, just to kind of set that piece so that it's not so liquidy underneath there as well. So you just kind of go under there and just kind of dab it a little bit. And so after I do that part, then I like to add a little bit more of the concealer just around the eye. And that just kind of helps me, I don't know, it just gives it a little bit more of a look. And then I'll sit this part here on my nose to kind of let it settle and bake. And then once I do that, I'll let that sit for a bit. I go ahead and get my lashes ready. So you can go to any hair store, you guys, to get lashes. Order them on Amazon or whatever. These were like $5.99 for like 5 pair. So, and it's only a couple of type of lashes that I purchased at the hair store. So get whatever you like, whether it's full, thick, thin, whatever you like, get it. You can go to any local hair store and purchase your lashes. Some people buy, you know, the bundle on Amazon, but you can buy them wherever. I go to the local hair store. So I go ahead and get my lashes set while this is baking on my face. And then while that is happening, I just use, and you can go get any type of lash glue that you like. I use this particular lash glue, or I will use, I forget the other brand, but it's another brand that I do like to use as well. But this is one that I will use also. But you want to make sure that it's good and dry when you are putting on there. Lashes are really easy, so you just kind of go and mark it down, and then you just let them sit. You know, just sit them down once you are putting the glue on the lashes. And so once I do that, like I said, I just kind of let that sit there and let it dry before I put it on my eyes. And so once that's done, then I'm ready to work on my lashes. I mean, my brows. So what I do with my brows is, now you do it the way you like, but for my brows, I just take some mascara, you guys. I mean, this is super simple. It's easy for me to get my brows tinted the way I want. So I just use a basic mascara to do so. You can just use a mascara brush, and then you'll just take that brush and you just kind of pull your hairs down like that. And then you just kind of pull them back up. You just brush them back up like you started off brushing your hair. And you just dip it back in there. This is just kind of get that highlight of your brow, you know. So you just buy some mascara and just go across. And then do the same process on the other side. Like I said, this is like my favorite part of the makeup process because the brows have to be perfect, you guys. Like, they literally have to be perfect. So I just go through that process. And once I feel like it's dark enough for me, then I'm ready to go ahead and move on to the next step, which is more concealer. So I'll take more concealer. Not a lot with this. I'm going to use the same one because I want it to be as natural with the color that I already have. So I just dab it a little bit. And then I'm going to go under the brow again because I don't want it real thick. I don't want a really thick brow. So I'm going to go under the brow again and just make sure it's to my liking. I'm going to do it on both sides. And I want to make sure it's real clean. Really, really clean, guys. So if y'all can see me. I know right now it looks like, oh goodness. But I want to make sure it's really clean. And then once I feel like it's pretty clean, then I'm just going to repeat the process up top. And I want to make sure that they are not really thick. I don't like real thick brows. But I want to make sure that they're really clean. And then I'll just repeat the process on the other side. And you just want to make sure that you take your time with your brow. If you do nothing else, you want to take your time with your brow. And then you lock it in. So, that's what I have with the brow. And then once I do that, I'm going to pull my brush back out. And then I'm going to just start kind of patting my face in areas to kind of give it a look. So you just start patting. This kind of gives you those highlighted areas of your face. You're going to just pat those highlighted areas. After that's set, you should be able to kind of just push it over and let it go. And then with the nose, do the same. And then you just kind of brush it up, you know, to kind of give you that. And then you're going to go underneath the eye as well. And just kind of make sure that that foundation underneath has dried pretty much. And then you're going to do with the brow, you want to make sure that you take your time and make sure you get all of that liquid foundation off, but it's blended in really good. And then once you've done that, I like to go ahead and if I want to add a little bit more fluff to the look, then I just simply take another a small little powder brush, and then I'll just use, I mean, you can use whatever colors you want, but in this instance, I'm just going to use a natural look for this. So this is the palette that I have. I don't know if it's Revolution, you guys. So Revolution is the palette that I'm using right now. But it's a lot of colors in here. I like a lot of natural stuff. So I'm just going to get a little bit of this. It's called Relax, the color that I'm using. So I'm going to use a little bit of Relax and just kind of put it right here to kind of set some of that foundation underneath there. Just to kind of give it a natural, simple look. Now, if you want to try other like colors or whatever, just take your time and pat and just make sure it doesn't get on the brow. But you want to get it to the liking that you want. Yeah. So I'm going to do that. To me, I feel like it's set enough to my liking. I'm going to show you guys some of the other colors that I like to use in palettes while we're looking. So I like this palette as well. It's Desktop Pressed Powder Palette. It's a really nice one. Like I said, it's a lot of naturals that I like. So that's one of my favorites. And then I have, this is like my absolute favorite right now, Velvet Rose, you guys. So this is really nice. A really nice palette as well, Velvet Rose. So if you like colors, look at the palette. It's really nice. So Velvet Rose is really, really nice. And then I have several other little powders that you can use, and it's by Dream, you guys. So I'm trying to pull it out. This one is called Circus. It has some colors to it too. So Circus is like an orange color. So I'm gonna open it up, and it's pretty. Look at that, isn't it cute? So yeah, it's really cute. And then I have a couple of other ones. This one is called Sweet Cheeks. It's more of a rosy color, but it's really cute too. Sweet Cheeks. So I'm gonna show you guys it. This is, well, it's rosy. It's really cute. And this is something you can put on your as far as with your powder. This one is Bronze and Bougie, same brand. So let's see. This is cute too. What's the name of it? And it's pretty, you guys. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. It is super pretty. So yeah. But once I've done that part, I can go ahead and now I think I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of the Sweet Cheeks. I'm going to kind of mix this, you guys. So I'm going to use a little Sweet Cheeks along, before I put my lashes on, I'm going to put a little bit of Sweet Cheeks along with this camo blush. It's by Elle. I like it because I like the darker tone of it. I don't know, it just does something for my skin. I don't know what it does, but I like how it's the final result. So that's that. And then I'll use a blending brush, super simple blending brush, and I'll just mix these two together. And you know, you don't need to do a lot, just pat it to your liking and make sure that, you know, it gives you the look you're going for. And then I'll do the same side. And so once I've done that, and I feel like it's to my liking as far as that, then I like to add a little bit of that same blush, just to kind of give I think I need to contour it a little more. I think that probably is the time. But I like to kind of contour it a little bit more right in here. And so that just kind of pops the look for me. So I'll take that. You see that I kind of did that. And then I'll just kind of blend it. Just go down. You don't want a whole lot, you know, for the face, but just enough to kind of give that contour look for your face and your liking. And once you have done that, then I like to kind of go back with this darker color, and I just kind of go up my nose a little bit, just a little tad, not a whole lot. I just kind of go up and down it, just to kind of give me that natural look. And then I let this sit for a bit, and while that's sitting, then I move on and I go ahead and apply my lashes. So a lot of people are scared to do lashes, but it's not that bad, you guys. So I just take my time. I just make sure that they've been cut down to fit my my eye. Once I've done that, then I just take my time and I just sit it on the eyelid. And if it's too long, you want to go ahead and measure your eyes before you even apply the lash. But you definitely want to make sure that it's not too long, it's not too, you know, much for your eye. So you do that, and then once you do that, you just repeat the process for the other one. And you guys, the eyelash is like the pop of the look. I love a lash. Are you hear me? Love a lash. So that is my lash. And once I've done that with my lash, now it's time for me to go ahead and just kind of go back and pull that little piece down. It gives me that look that I'm going for. So yeah. Now, if you are like one of my extra girlies that like to add a little bit more flavor to your look, then you can go back and use your same brow pencil, the one that I used to kind of line my brow. You can go underneath, and if you like, and if you're comfortable enough to just kind of draw underneath your eye, you can do that just to kind of pop it a little bit. Kind of give it that little pop. So you see, I just kind of gave it a little pop. And you just repeat the process on this side. Give it that little pop. And then once I've done that, you see there's a little bit of black here, so you just go in and blend it. Go in and blend it to make sure that it's out the way and it's not kind of messing with your look. And so once I've done that, I feel like my face needs to be set again. So I like to use my e.l.f. Micro Setting Spray, and I just shake it really good, and I get it set. So I'm going to close my eyes, set it, and then I'll wait a bit, and then I'll let it dry. And then I'll move to the next phase, which is the lips. So I feel like since we are in winter, what better color than like a burgundy? So I want to do like a burgundy lippy. So I'm going to do a burgundy. And with that, you just kind of close your lips in, and you're going to outline them. So once you outline your lips, the next color that I'm going to use. Okay, you guys. So next, I'm going to add this MAC lipstick, and it is called Flat Out Fabulous. So MAC, you guys, Flat Out Fabulous. And then I'm just going to take, it's kind of like it's a really pretty burgundy, you guys. But I'm going to go inside and just kind of pop the lip. And then once I feel like that is to my liking, I like to be a little extra. Now, you can keep your lippy like this, or you can kind of like give it a little bit more of a pop. And so I just take the magic for me is to take a little bit of the e.l.f. Here, the concealer, and I just like to add just a dab. Like you can just do a small little dab here. And just kind of dab your lips. You kind of do that to your liking. And then once it's done to your liking, then you can go ahead back to your brows. And if you want to add like a little bit of, darkness to your brows,